In this video, I will be comparing the bar in the STG rifles in Call of Duty WW2. The FG42 is going to be left out of this video mostly, and it's also a very good rifle in this game, but I left it out of this comparison because it's a very different type of weapon. Like, the playstyle you will employ with the FG is very different than the playstyles you will have with either the bar or the STG. The FG42 is more like defined in how you want to play with it. It's a very like defensive assault rifle, whereas the bar and the STG are both more versatile weapons in this game, so that's why I wanted to compare these two. Before I get into this video, I just want to say that we do not have the hard stats yet for these weapons, so I had to test a lot of this in game. And instead of giving range values, I will just show you the ranges in game, like how it looks. And then with the fire rates, I had to test them myself. There was potential these fire rates are a bit off, because this is the first time I've ever had to do that, but hopefully these fire rates are kind of in the ballpark of what the actual hard-coded fire rates of these weapons are. The bar is a 3 to 4 shot kill, and it fires at 600 RPM. You can see by this clip the 3-hit kill range isn't absurd, but it is pretty nice, and it is nice to have a 3-hit kill range because the STG does not. And when you put on advanced rifling, it is very decent, and it's actually going to get you out of a lot of situations that you might not be able to get out of with the STG. After this 3-hit kill range, it'll be a 4-hit the rest of the map for like the rest of time. So it's a 3 to 4 shot kill, and it's a 600 RPM. So let's get into the STG stats. The STG is a 4 to 5 hit kill, and it fires at 660 rounds per minute. So 60 rounds higher than the bar, and it generally will kill in one more shot. Well, it won't generally, but we'll get into that. And it has a very respectable 4-hit kill range so you will rarely be in any fights where you are fighting in the 5-hit kill range. If it's in the 5-hit kill range, you were probably going to lose that fight anyways, and you should probably reposition and take up a different positioning, because you want to limit your engagements with this weapon to its 4-hit kill range. That's where it's going to be ideal, and it's also going to be pretty hard to hit people in the 5-hit kill range. At those ranges, you're probably going to be fighting people who possibly have one of the semi-automatic rifles or even the FG42, and they're likely to outgun you in those ranges. So really, you're trading a slight 3-hit kill range for 60 rounds per minute with these weapons. Both of these weapons have pretty low recoil, and I do not think grip is required on either. I'll put the recoil plots on screen now. As you can see, there's very minimal like side-to-side recoil. It's very tight grouping for both of these weapons. And I also think both of these weapons have pretty poor iron sights, so I prefer to use the reflex sight over the irons, but this is just subjective. I'm generally not a huge fan of iron sights on rifles, and I really don't like either of these weapons' iron sights, but if you do enjoy them, that's a point you can save in your class, and then you can maybe do something else. The bar has a 20-round magazine, which is quite poor, and I would recommend either taking extended mags or the Hustle basic training perk, which will allow you to reload, but we'll get into that in a moment when I get into the class creations. The bar has a damage advantage, which is very nice, but the STG shoots slightly faster, and it has 10 extra rounds in the magazine. So what it comes down to is whether or not you want to kill in one less bullet or fire slightly faster. And it's not always going to be killing in one less bullet, it's only killing in one less bullet up close, because as you saw from those ranges, the bar's 3-hit kill range isn't absurd, it's nice to have. But in a lot of the medium range fights you're going to get into, you're probably going to be in its 4-hit kill range, and in every fight you get into with the STG, you're probably going to be in its 4-hit kill range. The main differences, like I said, is one less bullet versus 60 RPM. The 10 bullets is nice to have with the STG. It kind of frees you up in the class creation a bit, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I tend to prefer the bar because I don't know what it is. I feel like it's better for my playstyle, but the STG is a very good weapon, and it is definitely usable. For the bar, I like to use reflex sight, quick draw, extended mags, and advanced rifling. Advanced rifling, we try to get that 3-hit kill range up, because that's when this gun is going to be at its best. And for the STG, I like to use reflex sight, quick draws, and steady aim. You could swap out steady aim for something like rapid fire, but I just like to use steady aim because with how I like to play with this weapon, I like it to be more of an aggressive rifle, and that's the reason I'm not using rifled barrel either, is because the 4-hit kill range is, or advanced rifling rather, because the 4-hit kill range is already very good, and I'm not really going to be taking fights past that, because in those ranges it's going to be harder to hit my shots with the STG, and you're probably going to be better off with something like an STG or SVT40, or not an STG rather, an FG42 or an SVT is going to beat you in those fights. So that's why I would prefer to use this gun within its 4-hit kill range, and I'm not really going to take anything to bump that 4-hit kill range up. Since I like to run 4 attachments on my bar, I need the infantry division and the primed basic training. You get the primed basic training when you prestige the infantry division, and it allows you to take an extra attachment on your weapon, and you have less flinch. With the STG not needing extended mags or not needing a 4th attachment, I like to use the gunslinger basic training, which allows you to be more aggressive because you can shoot while sprinting. You could probably do anything in this slot, just how I like to play with the STG and how I'm going to recommend you play. It's more of an aggressive assault rifle for me, so that's why I like to use the gunslinger perk. Both of these weapons are very good. Like, they're definitely both top tier weapons, and they just fit a different playstyle for me. I like the bar more, but that's mainly because I enjoy the bar's playstyle more. For the bar, I like to play more reserved and more around map control, like a traditional like assault rifle player. But you can do some up close shit too because of the 3-hit kill range. It's really not like limited. I feel like the bar is more like versatile than the STG because of its 3-hit kill range. It makes it like slightly more competitive up close, and it kind of makes up for its lack of fire rate. And with the STG, I like to be aggressive because of its increased fire rate, and that's why I use steady aim in the gunslinger perk. Like I said, you could potentially use rapid fire in place of steady aim, or if you like the iron sights, you could put on rapid fire in place of reflex. I might try that out in the future. I really haven't yet, but that may be a good choice. But if I want an aggressive AR, I pick the STG, like I said. If I want a more defensive AR and more like versatile AR, I pick the bar. And if I want to be super defensive and super reserved, then I pick the FG42. That's why I didn't include the FG42 in this, because it really has its defined playstyle that it does, and it does very well, but it really isn't that great outside of that playstyle. The bar can kind of compete with that playstyle a bit, but it's generally going to lose out to the FG42. And at range, they're both definitely going to lose out to the FG42. Once again, my class setups for these weapons are: for the bar, I like to use reflex sight, quick draw, extended mag, and advanced rifling, and then the primed basic training. And then for the STG, I like to use reflex, quick draw, steady aim, and gunslinger. And I'm also going to recommend you try out rapid fire, quick draw, and steady aim. I don't remember the fire rate exactly off the top of my head at the moment, but it's going to put it in the 700s. Here, let me just put it, let me find out real quick. But yeah, I want to try out rapid fire. I haven't gotten a chance to do it yet, but I think rapid fire may be a good choice for this weapon. If you were going to commit even more so to the aggressive playstyle, you could do steady aim, rapid fire, quick draw, and then you'd be probably very good up close, but I haven't had enough time to try that out. Okay, so yeah, if you put on rapid fire, which is a 7 to 7.5% increase, I don't know which one it is on the STG because I haven't tested it myself, but let's just say it's 7, you'll fire at 706 rounds per minute as opposed to 660, and that's actually going to be 100 more than the bar, so you're definitely going to beat that bar up close, most likely, unless you just miss your shots. So if you do want to vary, if you want to commit like super hard to the aggressive playstyle with the STG, you could put on rapid fire, quick draw, steady aim, and then the gunslinger basic training, which allows you to sprint and shoot at the same time. I would still recommend using the infantry division because it's going to be nice to have 3 attachments, and it's going to be nice to strafe faster once you do have that ability unlocked for the infantry division. For both of these classes, I like to use the 1911 pistol and the frag grenade. Once again, my bar class is reflex, quick draw, extended mag, and advanced rifling, and then the STG is reflex, quick draw, steady aim, or rapid fire, quick draw, steady aim, and then the gunslinger basic training. That's going to be it for this video. I don't think there's a clear favorite between these two weapons. They're both very good, and they can both be used to about the same effect, I think. They just have slightly different things that they excel at, and I think if you use the right attachments, you can make the STG into a very dominant close-range weapon. It really just comes down to playstyle for me. I hope I helped you decide which the best assault rifle is for you, and if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, a like rating is always appreciated, and if you'd like to see more content from me, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Recon airborne.